Dusk, rest in peace. Yes, indeed, Los Angeles. I down for peace, so all the positive people put peace out in the air like this. But you know what? We can't have no peace until we have what? Justice. You know what time it is.
That's right. Divine Forces Radio. We got my man Miles. I have not seen Miles in a very long time.
That's right.
World famous Breakestra.
Live and direct here.
Live and direct, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man.
Under circumstances none of us would like to have,
yeah.
a reason.
Yeah. And that,
better later than never.
That's what happens is the cycles of life and death, births bring people together and deaths bring people together and kind of like nudge us in a way that kind of wakes us up. I spoke earlier to somebody about when I had heard about Dusk. I had immediately got on the phone and called several, of my close friends just to kind of put it in their ear just to say hello, because it's like I have messages on my voicemail from Dusk because we had been playing phone tag for the last few months trying to get a hold of each other. And, you get caught up in life.
Yeah.
The daily struggle, the rat race is Bob Marley.
Bull. That's what,
And so anyways, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Just to share in the love of what this man did for our community, and what he is still going to continue to do on a whole nother level.
Yeah, that's it right there, man. It's not actually surprising to me because knowing how generous and how compassionate Dusk was, and man, he was all city. I mean, when it comes to on so many different levels, but I mean, just to see how many people will respond creatively to this, and it's unfortunate that would be the catalyst, but I can just feel it. I can just feel how much creative response will happen on this, and that's something that does, there's no question, man. Dusk will be proud of,
It's already happening, man. It's already happening. Yeah. You brought up a little gift that we want to play.
Yeah.
That I want you to talk a little bit about, or
yeah, absolutely. First, I gotta let you know though, this last beat before this and this track here, are both tracks that DJ Dusk co-produced. This is that Michael Myers thing. And the thing before was the Akbar, some Ill Boogie label stuff. But this is Dusk production. He was, he's doing everything.
Everything, man.
And Dusk, for those who knew him pretty well or they knew that he he had a gift. He had the gift on the mic, gift the gab, period.
Yeah,
Dusk was that man.
Yes, he did, man. He was a true MC.
Yeah, and he just, one of the reasons I look forward every Thursday night going there was to hear him do his thing, just to be in that presence of that, Nobody rocked the party like Dusk did. Nobody. Never, And, we've all been trying to encourage him. You gotta put that out, man. You gotta get you gotta put your lyrical side. You gotta get that on. You gotta get on a wax. You gotta do it. I know you got it. He loves the freestyle. He up in the wee hours freestyling in the corner. Dusk was that man. And I got him. I convinced him somehow to come over when I was recording some Breakestra stuff. I got him to come over and write 8 bars for a track, and I was trying to make it happen. I had to do too much technical stuff to make it happen because, it's a long story, but I wasn't able to make the final mix on the Breakestra on this track called Family Rap on a record. And but I did get him. He's like the host on the single. He introduces it, But courtesy of the Maestro Z Trip the mighty Z Trip,
Yep.
he did his thing and actually took these Pro Tool sessions I had and managed to take the verse and hook it up and did a special edit, some exclusive right here. This is last night at Root Down was the world premiere, but as far as on the airwaves, we're doing it right here.
Wow. Well, this is
DJ Dusk.
He is a divine force now, as he was when he was here, and he still is here.
Yeah, on the path.
Family Rap, world premiere, Divine Forces Radio. We'll be right back. More DFR.
Party people in the place. 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 This is DJ Dusk, and you're about to boogie with the breakage truck. Live and direct from Los Angeles. Plus some of the coolest cast the rock raps, 4 to be exact. And you know that
this is the sound, and it ain't no doubt. The breakers you're hitting gonna make you shout. Wolf, tuna fish soup, double K, put it down. From the city of angels to your town. This is the sound, and it ain't no doubt. The breakers you're hitting gonna make you shout. Wolf, tuna fish soup, double K, put it down. From the city of angels to your town.
DJ Dusk.
Rest in peace.
DJ Dusk.
Rest in peace.
DJ Dusk.
Rest in peace.
DJ Dusk.
Rest in power.
Hey yo, we're like Sly Stone, it's a family affair. Fun for the folks, all hands in the air. We put the rules down, produce a smooth sound. We making moves now with beats that break bounds. I diddy bop and I rock spot steadily. Motivate the crowd, moving with the melody. That's how it's done the professional way. This is DJ Dust, live from LA.
To give it to you live with no pressure. See, it ain't no point to get bent out of shape, cause the flavor take place when the orchestra breaks. And I'ma partake in every inch of it, every instrument, very intricate, with the fingertips on it, live and direct. You know Super's the name, and I'ma pass the double K so he can do his thing.
I'm popping like a locker, electric on the shocker. I've been the coolest thing since a hot air popper. I'm down with S1 and we under the stairs. Every time we in the disco, they stop and glare, cause they read about us in the Daily Post. They wanna know about the rhymes where we bust the most. And here we are, the funky four, straight from the West Coast. Put you up on the art on how we brag and boast.
Pass it to me, the bland passenger who happens to be rapping for free, the ambassador. You in the acting with me, and it just so happens that my passion is to smash an MC, a planned massacre. Shit, you dealing with some real musicians, accompanied by real true spitting prehistoric committees on GP. Under the stairs, we hitting while you softer than the kitten, we pushing it to the limit. Right?
Hustlers love the floss and pop collars. Gangsta boogie, low rider, Impala. Screams live from the host of grandmasters. DJs catch the breaks, cause he has to. MCs rocking the mic and showing love. Turntables spinning the brakes, I like to rub. I dub my mixtape for all of the kids. I like to hit a band when they take it to the bridge.
Hitting, gonna make you shout. Wolf, tuna fish soup, double K, put it down. From the city of angels to your town. This is the sound, and it ain't no doubt. Got the breakers hitting, gonna make you shout. Wolf, tuna fish soup, double K, put it down. From the city of angels to your town. This is the sound, and it ain't no doubt. The breakers
Divine Forces Radio, Family Rap,
Yes.
exclusive, DJ Dusk,
Right.
Z Trip. Oh man. Well, listen, Miles, I want you to take us out with some last words, as well as
Khalid.
Khalid, brother.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good
no doubt.
words with you out there too,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, definitely.
As well as, please both of you take us out with some last words about Dusk. It's this the craziest thing that we have to, pay tribute. We always have to pay tribute when people pass, opposed to when they're alive. Next, we're going to be talking about Michael Mixon Moore.
Yeah, legend.
Another legend.
No question. Los Angeles.
But please, some words.
Well, as far as Dusk goes, I know that he would just he want to be remembered for bringing people together, for the sounds, for love, and for change. Of course, he was, no question. He was definitely the one to recognize what's not just in this life, but just as much he also recognized what is beautiful about this life.
Mm-hmm.
More so even, but I mean, and I support him, man. He's on his path. I don't want him to even slightly look back. I know I send a prayer out to him that we're good. We're good. We're fine with him. We got to deal with our own pain. Mm-hmm. That's our thing, but I'm proud of him. Mm-hmm. I don't know how we're going to keep on going doing our Root Down sound without him, but we're certainly going to try, and I think that he would support us doing that. I think he'd want us to. But speaking of which, my man Khalid wants to say.
Yeah, no doubt. First, I just want to give light and love, and just say I'm really humbled. The only other person that really touched my heart with their departing was my mother. So that's how powerful my connection with Duke was. You know what I mean? And I think it's just very powerful that we're uniting like this. It's a beautiful thing. I think that, Dusk is definitely smiling on us, with love and light, And I also want to bring up Wyatt Case, who's the other DJ in the Root Down sound system.
Wyatt Case in the place.
In the place, yeah, indeed. That's my brother from another mother. And, he brought up the fact he came out here from Boston, just trying to get his mix on and learn the elements of DJing. And Dusk, took him under his wing, and just really helped, along with Miles and everything, and just really helped and really, complimenting him and helping him unfold into the DJ that he is. And, he says over and over, if it wasn't for Dusk, there would not be a DJ Wyatt Case as we know him, bottom line, and I could say when it's, it's funny, LA and the States and just whatever, you run into people and you just kind of know them, and you just, sometimes you talk a little bit here and there, and then you finally formally introduce, and that's how it was with Dusk. We just knew each other around the scene, and when we finally built, it was kind of like we understood the golden age of hip hop, at least what I call the golden age. When Tribe came out with their first joints, and Rakim, Allah, and these different people, and Bambaataa and everybody doing their thing, when you really had to represent the elements of hip hop. And I think, if anything, Dusk embodies as a true activist, a man's man, a DJ's DJ, a true B-boy, understanding all the different elements of hip-hop culture, and a true promoter of unity and communication and community, and love of God and wisdom, eclectic, a true soldier, a warrior, a friend to the end, one of those cats that you didn't have to talk all the time because the connection was always solid. So it wasn't about how much we hung because, like you said so, eloquently, Fidel, sometimes life just takes us in different directions. The storm blows us in different ways, but what's in your heart shines forever. And so anything that I could be, the best of whoever I am, and my man Wyatt and all of us in the Root Down, system, is going to be definitely, in much respect to who Dusk is and will always be. And that's it. No Peace question. And love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No other words need to be said.
Except we got to support the memorial for Dusk. It's
on Monday.
Benefit on May. Well, yeah, of course, that's right. The services. That's right. We should let people know at the Rose Hills Memorial.
Yeah.
On Monday. That's right. At 2:30, right?
Mm-hmm. At 2:30, and people can get information at myspace.com/Captan Family, CAPTAN Family, and they can get information about the memorial fund that is being set up for Dusk's legacy.
Yeah. And also on May 12th, there's the event that's going to be a benefit for Dusk Memorial Fund and Family, of course. At I'm not sure where, it's some spot, but
it's going down on
let us know.
333 South Boylston in downtown LA, Club Soho. Friday, May 12th, 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. like Dusk would have wanted it right here. The originators, Africa Bambaataa, Cool DJ Herc, Jazzy J, straight from the NYC, and the new generation, Cut Chemist, Holland Mason, Blue Gems. This is in loving memory of DJ Dusk, Friday, May 12th. All proceeds will benefit the legacy of DJ Dusk. Moving to another legend right here. This is how it used to get down on radio stations here in LA, on commercial radio stations. 92.3 The Beast. This is how Michael Mixon Moore was doing his thing, man.
For the revolutionary Michael Mixon Moore on 89.9 FM, KCRW.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the one God to whom all praise is due, the Lord of the worlds. Allah, the creator of all things, the revealer of all truth, the sender of all prophets. We thank him for the wise men and sages and prophets and messengers that have come to the native peoples of the earth. And we thank him for the prophets and messengers that have come to the Western world. Moses, Jesus, Muhammad. Peace be upon all of these worthy servants of God. Personally, I give praise and thanks to Allah for his intervention in our affairs. In the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who came and raised up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as his messenger to us all. And when we say messenger to us all, we mean not just with a message to the black man, but a message to the entire human family of the planet. We thank him for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I greet all of you in their holy and righteous names with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. To Minister Ave Muhammad, the laborers and followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of Mosque number 27. We thank you for your hard work, your tireless effort in making Savior's Day 1993 a success. Let us give Mosque 27 a hand. Although I am very proud of Mosque number 27 and their work, I know that they can and will do a much greater job in 1994 than they had done in 1993. But my real reason for being here is to personally pay tribute and honor to Almighty God for putting his spirit in the blood and the Crips who have initiated a truce by the power and spirit of God himself. We call this Savior's Day because we celebrate the birth of a black man born in Georgia. A black man who taught us how to be men and women, righteous men and women, and caused us to cease the shedding of our own blood. and made us a people of peace. We thank Allah for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and it is fitting that in a celebration of his birth that we come to Los Angeles to pay honor and tribute to the Bloods and the Crips who are trying desperately to make peace among themselves. Human hands had some part in this peacemaking effort, but it was the unseen hand of the living God that produced the spirit in these men to desire to form a truce and to forgive each other over the rivers of blood that they have shed of their own kith and kin and family. But the wounds that have been inflicted on us are very, very deep. And it's not going to take an ordinary healing to heal the wound, but it must be a divine healing in order for us to come to some sense of wholeness. I'm sorry that I am a little late. We got caught in the traffic, but I want to make up for it by going right to the point. The whole idea of the scriptures, from Genesis to Revelation, and God sending a prophet, apostles, messengers, teachers, and wise men, has always been to effect a healing among the people. Sometimes that healing was on a local, small, or minuscule scale, but always it was to serve as a sign of a healing that would be effected on a global scale at a certain time in history. And we have arrived to that time. God's aim has always been healing the wounds that have been created by deviation from the path of correction. The Bloods and the Crips, whom we honor today, want peace. But there can be no peace without submission to the will of Almighty God. Crooked men and crooked women cannot produce peace.
I'm like, man,
wow.
I told you I need 4 hours.
The fifth element, knowledge.
Man, Michael Mixon Moore, an LA icon, a pivotal figure not only as a first-generation Los Angeles hip-hopper and visionary DJ, but also as an activist and teacher within the community. Michael is revered by those throughout the hip-hop community who know its history and has had an impact on the culture as a prolific musical rebel and dedicated, though uncompromising, artistic force. Michael Mixon Moore was and is a leader in the Los Angeles hip-hop community and its larger reaches for his contribution and participation in some of its most crucial and developing years. Michael was not only a pioneer pillar to the waves of DJs and artists that came after him, but also a breaking mixer and radio personality who was willing to sacrifice his personal and professional career for the enlightenment and stimulation of his listeners, something that is not found all too often with radio DJs today.
Wow.
For all those who love hip-hop, for those who love consciousness, for those who love music and the power of art to transcend and transform, for all who overstand the importance of these roots, Michael Mixon Moore is a legend to rediscover and remember well. There are many stories to be told of this visionary, many momentous events known by several among us and only awaiting your inquiry and appreciation. That was taken off of the Michael Mixon Moore MySpace, put together by Danny D. We've got Tony Joseph, and I'm gonna let this play underneath if that's all right, man.
Fine with me.
Tony
Beautiful.
Joseph and Mark Love, Mighty Zulu Nation. How you doing, Tony?
I'm hanging in there, man.
Hanging in there, man.
I miss my brother.
What's that feel like when you hear this right now?
Oh, he's the non-profit prophet, Michael Moore. You know, he was conscious even when he was asleep. The brother, you know, coming up with Mike, we started out in radio back in the early '80s, and before hip hop was even hip hop, you know, we were doing our thing on commercial radio, and Mike wanted to make people aware of a lot of other things that were happening around in the world spiritually, and we couldn't do that on traditional radio, so he had to abandon that and stay on his path of consciousness, you know, making people aware of injustices, things that were going on that people weren't paying attention to. You know. He brought a lot of knowledge to a lot of folks, man. And when we first started off, we would just sit back after we did our shows and just talk about worldly things, about what was going on with the government, what was going on with things around the world. And he said, you know, soon we're going to have to step that way and start making people aware of what's happening out here. And he kept it on. You know, we went our separate ways in 1986, and he just stayed on his path. And I took the executive route and got into the record business, but Mike stayed there, and he was beautiful, man. He was beautiful. I had been seeing him when he was, you know, towards his last days, and I'd just sit there and hold his hand and talk about the old days, you know, what we used to do, the crazy things we do, all, you know, and he's going to be missed, man, you know. He wasn't a traditional, he wasn't conformist, you know, he wanted to do what he felt was right, and a lot of people just stayed and did what you know, corporate America told them to do, and Mike said, no, I'm going to break away from that because I have a bigger idea, I have a bigger job, I have a bigger mission, and he did his thing, man. And every time he'd have a new radio show, he'd call me up, man, you got to check this out. I'm about to break it open, brother. I'm about to bust this wide open and make people aware. And he did it, you know, no matter what the circumstances were, you know, no matter what the ramifications were. He just wanted to make people aware and conscious of, you know, and to think in a spiritual way, you know, and things were, you know, everything was metaphysical with Mike, you know, things happen for a reason, cause and effect, you know, you do things, you treat people the way you want to be treated, and he blew my mind, man. He was just really a brother with a message. He really was.
You know, Tony, what made Michael such a dignified person to not be, I mean, I came at the beat after Michael left, and that is such a corrupt system working in corporate radio. And as it was stated in his blog space on MySpace, he sacrificed his personal and professional career for the enlightenment and stimulation. You know, that says a lot about his character. What was just in summary? What was his background? What made Michael so conscious and so aware that he had to take a message out. I mean, come on, man, putting Farrakhan over beats on many different radio stations, not just the beat.
Well, Mike had a soul. That's why corporate radio and Mike didn't fit. Mike had a soul, and he had a belief. And he believed in a more powerful thing than corporate radio. Corporate radio just believes in money. Okay? Mike believed in spirituality, knowledge, consciousness, love. He had a big heart, man. Mike had a big heart. And he loved those who loved themselves, man, you know, and open-minded people, not narrow. He loved to tell people of things that were going to happen, not just things that were happening now, but things that were going to happen down the road. And we talked about that a lot. You know, every time we'd have a deep conversation like that, he'd call me up a month or two later. He said, man, what we talked about just happened. It just went down, man. Turn on the news. Check it out. And that's what Mike was about. He saw the big picture. He saw down the line, you know, and he wasn't clouded by the things that people threw at you daily, you know. He shuck it to the side and put it in his pocket, save it for later, and concentrate on the bigger picture. And that was the beauty of Mike. He saw what was happening and what was coming, you know. He was a very conscious brother.
I said, Danny wants to say something. Danny's been putting together a documentary for the last couple years on Michael Mixon Moore. How you doing, Danny?
Oh, good, Fidel. Thanks, man. First, I just want to thank you again, man. This is just beautiful work that you're doing here. Obviously, I want to say thank you and then extend our love to Dusk and that whole extended situation, because it's definitely all connected. I just want to jump in real quick, because we're talking with Mark Love, we're talking with Tony Joseph, legends and contributors themselves. And from an outside point of view, I just want to make it really clear that Michael Mixon Moore is a pillar of our history, of Los Angeles hip-hop history. And I'm saying that because I just want everyone to embrace that, the same way that we can embrace Dusk and all of his contributions and the beautiful stuff that he represents. Michael is a direct connection to that, and a predecessor, and a paver. And just to put into context, I just want to say Uncle Jam's Army, I want to say Lonzo Williams, I want to say all the things that people, Egyptian Lover,
Roger Clayton,
Silky D, the things that people relate to, the beginnings that they can look at and say, wow, you know, that's beautiful. I appreciate that. That's where I was inspired. And just know that Michael was a deep part of that. Before he even did more and became political, did more and started the first record pool in L.A., did more and was a mentor to people like Mark Love. He was a pillar, a pioneer, a beginner in what we appreciate and we enjoy right now. I just want people to know that so they can start with that and then begin their journey to discover who he really was. And I think Mark Love can tell us a little bit more, because he could tell you some beautiful things about how Mike directly impacted him and how he directly impacted a lot of people from east to west. And I just want to throw that at everybody and invite everybody to the MySpace page. It's under MySpace, Michael Mixon Moore, all one word. You can find it also as a link to the email amdj@earthlink.com, amdj@earthlink.com. There'll be a lot of information about things going on in there, so please do check it out. And I just want to give it to Mark, because I think he can really tell us a lot about Michael Mixon Moore.
Insight. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, Mark, you know, when we talked the other day, you had shared with me, like, Michael was one of the first people in your lives to put you on radio and let you do your thing.
Michael Mixon Moore introduced me to the corporate structure. And he didn't introduce it to me like, hey, Mark, it's the corporate structure, join. No. One thing I have to say about people that's just in general, people that has graced, I think everyone that has touched our lives, I think we have our own organic MySpace. In other words, you know, I know my man Breeze, I know my man Expo, I know my man Dusk, I know my man Miles, I know Tony Joseph here. And we've been MySpacing before computers have actually been around. And the fact of the matter is, that term, each one teach one, is a term that shouldn't be lightly taken. That's a very deep term, because everybody that we have networked with, quote unquote, have taught us something. Everyone that's crossed our path has taught us something. And sometimes, because of life, we take it for granted. We don't think about it. But when you look at a person like Mike, he taught me individuality. And when he brought me to the radio, said, "Hey, Mark, I want you and your boy Vicious Lee, I want Vicious Lee and you to come up here, to come up here and spin on my Militant Master Mix for 6 straight hours from 12 midnight to 6 in the morning." And I'm going, I've never done radio before in my life. I mean, why me? And Mike looked at me and said, "Why not you?" That was a simple, why not you? What could I say on that? Like, okay, I guess. Okay, mate. Okay. And we did that. Now, he always would tell me, put an instrumental on. I'm like, no problem. And after I get done putting an instrumental on, I never heard the finished product, but people were coming to me going, "Dude, have you heard this?" And it would be me playing hip-hop, but I'd hear Farrakhan or I'd hear Malcolm X or what over the beat, and I'm like, I've never heard that before in my life. That's, whoa. It's like, oh, it's Michael Moore. And then I put 2 and 2 together, and then I started asking Mike, and he told me, I've been doing this for so many years, Mark, and you're just now knowing. Let me sit down and school you, young blood. And he sat down and schooled me. And he made me realize that even though what he was doing wasn't for the corporate structure, because the beat hated it. I'm going to tell you, the beast hated it. There's a lot of people that took offense to it, because it wasn't the norm. But you see, the one thing that Mike taught me in my networking and dealings and knowing the man, the one thing he taught me was hip-hop was about originality. Hip-hop was about individuality. And not only just hip-hop, but us as humans, us as so-called humans, we're about being different and not conforming. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing Mike would always instill in everyone that came around him. Don't conform. Don't be like everybody. Do you.
Be yourself.
Exactly. Be an individual first. Then, if people start following you, oh well. But be an individual first. And that's the one thing that I've taken away from knowing Mike. Mike, I've had plenty of mentors in my life, but I'm gonna tell you directly, Michael Mixon Moore was a direct influence on me. And I will say straight up, if it wasn't for Michael Mixon Moore, there would not be a Mark Love. There would not have been a Mark Love on The Beast or on Powder. Or right. It would not be no Mark Love on any of those corporate stations. It would not be a Mark Love, period. Because I knew how to be Mark Love. I was always Mark Love, but I knew how to be Mark Love from Michael Mixon Moore. And that's the one thing I'll never ever forget. It's like, and that's why that brother is always going to be a part. As I said earlier, the physical has limitations, but the soul never does. The boy is around. The boy is here. Every time I get behind those tables, Michael Mixon Moore is there. Bigger B is there. Jay Dilla is there. Rob One is there. Dusk is there. Every time, Professor X is there. Every time I represent, every time I play, every time every DJ plays, that's the representation of them. I'm a conduit for them. Straight up. So that right there is what's getting me through. I've had 3 soldiers fall within the past weekend, and people are saying, Mark, how you handle it? I look at it like, well, the physical has limitations, and the physical is always going to break down. Without, there's no life without death, unfortunately for us. But the soul, always. The soul is infinite. Infinite.
Yes.
The soul is infinite, and because the soul is infinite, people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, people like Frederick Douglass, people like Harriet Tubman, they moved. The reason why people of today know who they are is because their spirit is still here. And that's why people know Keith Cowboy from Furious 5 and brothers like that is gone. Because their essence is still here. Because the people, the conduits, us, carry their name. And that's what I'm going to do with Dust. That's what I've been doing with Rob One. That's what I've been doing with Bigger B. That's what I'm going to do with Michael Mixon Moore. That's what I'm doing. And that's why I feel the hip-hop community is different from every community out there. And I will say that arrogantly because, plain and simple, we have the love and the knowledge. And we have not only our element is knowledge. So we have the love, know-how, and the knowledge to say, hey, you know what? We got to carry on for this man. We got to carry, when our soldiers fall, we're there to pick up and say, no, brother, the physical fell. The spirit lives.
Soul.
And the soul lives because we're making it live. We're telling the young people who you were. If they didn't know, they're going to learn. Michael Mixon Moore, and I'm going to say this, not to signify, but I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to wrap it up, Fidel. I'm sorry for taking so much time, but if anyone out there that's listening don't know about West Coast history, please learn. Because we do have a history. And Michael Mixon Moore kicked down the door for a lot of people. He took a lot of abuse and a lot of crap for a lot of people. You know, my man Tony Joseph also did the same thing. Okay? Silky D also did the same thing. Egyptian Lover did the same thing. Bobcat did the same thing. The Mixmasters, Greg Mack, J.J. Johnson, Tony G, Russ Parr. They took all the crap in order for the people now to be on radio. They took a lot of crap in order for the club DJs to do what they got to do, the promoters to do what they got to do. They took all of that in order for us to live. And we can never, ever, ever forget that. And that's where we always need to pay homage.
Tony, Joseph, if you could take us out with some last words.
Mike was a seed planter. Mike was a fuse lighter. Mike was at the top of a mountain. He'd push a snowball down, and all you'd have is an avalanche afterwards. Yeah, I love that brother. And, our last days on radio, corporate radio, KJLH, we walked out of there, hand in hand, mind in mind, and we left that conformist structure together. And like I said, I went the executive route, doing A&R at labels and producing. And Mike just stuck with what he believed in and took it to KCRW and other stations and didn't care if he was getting a paycheck, as long as he was getting that word out and keeping up the belief and the culture of hip-hop. He was a fire starter. He wanted, even when rap had just started, stations we were on didn't want to play it a lot. To this day, some of the stations don't play it. But Mike played it. And we broke a lot of music out here. A lot of hip-hop. We broke all that Def Jam stuff, all that Tommy Boy stuff, all that profile music. We broke it first. And Mike said...
history, right?
Exactly.
That's history.
Mike said no matter what they do to us, they can't take our consciousness away.
That's real.
That's what I tell my sons all the time, man.
Real quick, I'm sorry. I just want to say, definitely send a shout out to the Moore family.
Yes.
And the extended community, hip-hop community, all of us together, and the extended work community, and specifically a very special shout-out to Michael's children, who we love more than anything in the world, Asia and Assad. Mention their name, Michael was in tears. I just want to say that.
Yes, and Michael's we're going to have a memorial for Michael on the 20th of May at the Treehouse Studios, 12 o'clock, the 20th of May. That's 3761 Broadway. That's Broadway and 37th Place.
And that'll be on the MySpace, too. So just keep checking the MySpace, and it'll all be there.
We love you, Mike.
Definitely.
No doubt.
May 20th. Thank you both.
Thank you,
for coming
man.
in. You are Danny. Thank you. And people can find out about the documentary on the MySpace as well. Eventually, they'll be able to find out.
Thank you so much, my brother.
You got it, man.
Right, quick, I just got to say, I have to give a shout out to all the pioneers and everyone that has helped me through this time, because I've had a real hard time, as everyone knows out there. But hip hop is keeping me up, keeping me going, keeping me from losing my mind. And I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to thank Danny. I'd like to thank more so than everyone. I'd like to thank everyone at Root Down. I'd like to thank Mike, Dusk. I'd like to thank everyone for supporting me. I'd like to thank Zulu Nation and Lady Love. I'd like to thank you. Thank you for helping me up late nights. And, just got to keep keep in our minds, our hearts, and keep our spirits strong.
That's all we can do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all we need to do. All right. Thank you both. All right. You have a good night. Divine Forces Radio. Man, I told you I need another hour tonight, Breeze. I need another hour. Monica, come in. Come in. Come on. We're going to do this. My man Prodigal Son came up too tonight. You know, just to let people know, going down on May 10th, Wednesday, featuring Cheek King, Prodigal Son, Brooklyn Zoo, Black Knights. Icy Ice is supposed to be in the house. It's going to be off the hook, man. This is going at Zen Sushi, Wednesday, May 10th, 2609 Hyperion. This is Wednesday. Divine Forces Radio will be up in the house. This is the Full Street Flush Tour going down. Go to myspace.com/sound scientist. What's up, Breeze? My man Breeze is supposed to get down on a mix tonight, man. And go sit down too, man. Go, Monica, go ahead, man. Sit down.
We're not out of time.
Where's my man? We got the ancestors. I'm gonna do a live transition. I'm gonna hope my True Seekers brothers. We cool, man? Okay, man. See, we this is love, man. If we were on a commercial station, they'd be kicking me in my butt right now, shooting me with a gun or something. You know,
But we're not.
But we not.
We're not.
KPFK.
That's
we
right.
listener sponsored. We about revolution and change and non-egos and all that. What's up, Monica?
What's up? I thought maybe we were out of time.
Man, you know, it's like I told Elijah, I said, man, the show took a totally different twist.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't tripping. I knew you had mentioned it earlier, and you know, I didn't want to make an inappropriate transition either. And
But you know what? This is the work. This is the exact same work that Michael Mixon Moore and Dusk were about.
Totally.
You know, let people know about what's going to be happening tomorrow. We, like you said, we've been mentioning it, but you know, if you want to go into a brief detail for people to know if they're listening, this is a free conference going down at John Muir High School, or middle school, should I say, tomorrow.
That's right. Starts at 8 in the morning, goes till 3:30. There's going to be over 20 workshops and seminars, hands-on, and some more education, academic. Some like, you know, Asia 1 maybe is going to do B-girling, like, you know, there's going to be
Tumex is coming,
Tumex is
Invincible's
going to be
coming.
performances at the end. I'd like to introduce my friend Mike Eagle. He's also going to be doing a presentation. He's an MC. He works with a group called For Real Hop.
Mm-hmm.
And I work with an organization called Juice. And so we're going to be talking about this community center. And then there's just tons of educators who are going to be learning, but also sharing how they use hip hop in a school setting, you know, and trying to bring kids in who are usually left out of the traditional system.
Yeah, it's really getting to the issue and idea of utilizing this culture, hip hop culture, as a way to actually teach and be used as that tool, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the essence of this conference.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, I think it'll be interesting because it's not for everybody. It's not, you know, if you don't know how to teach it, then that's okay. You know, it's just to share. You know, if some people do, I don't know, have some interest or have some knowledge that they can share, then it's just for educators and people to share how they've been using hip hop.
It's also for people who don't really believe in the culture. You know, they can come see the other side of it, a side that's
That's
can
true.
be used.
Understand what youth are going through and living through, and understanding and their perspectives, and to honor that. You know, that's also really an art form and a different kind of knowledge. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Do you guys want to let people know some of the names of the workshops? Do you have that with you or no?
Yeah, I actually left it out in the.
That's all right.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just. Do you have something?
You could. I have the press release, but I don't think it.
It doesn't have the.
It might.
I know. There's going to be someone from the Watts Prophets, YJC Youth Justice Coalition is going to be there talking about decriminalization of youth.
Ben Caldwell for Project Blow, they'll be there.
Yep, Chaos Network.
For Real Hop will be there. Mm-hmm. We're doing our thing.
I know there's Slingshot Hip Hop talking about Palestine and the struggle and how to connect it to people's lives here. Let me think. There's so many. It's gonna be.
There's 22 breakout workshops going.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna do one?
Yeah, I'll be doing
decolonizing the mind.
Hip hop as popular education, so to speak, something like that.
Yeah.
If you want, yeah, it's up to you. But we're doing this live radio. They're like, should I put some beats on? We never do this show without no music in the background. That's why it's kind of like.
Now we
we
make a sound work.
We in you know we are hip hop culture, and we always got to be bobbing our head even if we're in dialogue about something. But no, it's like when Elijah and Mark had let me know about this long time ago, it was like so much on my plate, and to see it flourish since then. I know I'm only going to be able to share a little bit, but it's like it's amazing the work that everyone has come together. This thing has it was like a seed was planted, and it's flourished into this huge conference that over like 400 people have already registered.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I felt the same way when it was brought up to me. I thought, I want to do it. I don't know. I tried to be a little half-assed about it, but I'm glad that I was part of it. Actually, can I read some of the contact info?
Please.
We're on MySpace too, and it's just myspace.com TGEHH. That stands for This Generation in Education Called Hip Hop. So TGEHH. The conference is being co-sponsored by City of LA, Cultural Affairs, Youth Arts and Education, Access of Justice, Food Not Bombs, Assemblies in Motion, Divine Forces Radio, Hip Hop Association, Hip Hop Congress, Juice, Chaos Network, ICU Art, Human Rights Project, Soul Foundation, UCLA, GSAE, and many others that I'm sorry I couldn't name all of them, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one. Davey D just confirmed he's going to be there.
And it is free, right?
It is free.
All ages.
It is free. You have no excuse. You don't. And you can bring your kids too. I know that a lot of people are bringing their kids, so that's the reality of it. But another aspect besides just even adults coming, we're trying to get youth to come as well, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I hope they should have busloads there,
Well, no, there's a lot of kids registered already, and the great thing about this is that it's not going to be, because a lot of graduate students are going to be here as well, but it's not going to be like graduate students in their own class. It's the whole community coming together so they can see, what hip-hoppers do in terms of utilizing this culture to uplift people, learn about what it is that we do, at the same time learn about the culture.
And learn what's in their own communities.
Exactly.
That's the most amazing thing. All these people, minus a few that are coming from out of town, but this is all happening in LA, in South Central, in East LA, in Pico Union.
It's kind of like a coming out party for the whole conscious hip hop network.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. Want to one more time, just let people know the time, the place, the website, the phone number if they need information, and with the time they need to get there tomorrow.
All right, This Generation in Education Called Hip Hop Culture, Curriculum, and the Transformation of Our Schools and Educational Communities. This is a conference for all people, youth, parents, educators. It's tomorrow, Saturday, May 6th. Starts at 8 in the morning. Goes until 3:30. It's at John Muir Middle School, which is at 5929 South Vermont Avenue in LA. You can check the myspace.com/TGEHH, or you can email mediarelations@soulfoundation.org. That's it. See you there. Bright and
Thank
early.
you so much.
Thank you.
Both.
Yeah. Just real quick, May 11th in Long Beach at the Rhythm Lounge, 245 Pine Avenue, second level. Myself, open mic. I'll be rocking the stage along with AC Alone, No Can Do, Tiger vs. Crane, The Mighty Fresh Clip, DBS, and Priceless. Check that out, May 11th, Long Beach.
At the Rhythm Lounge.
The Rhythm Lounge.
The Rhythm Lounge in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Letting people know, thank you both. We'll see you guys bright and early in the morning.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Bright and early. I want to let you one more time, Full Street Flush Tour going down May 10th. That's Wednesday night. God's Inc. presents, God's Inc. presents Chi King, Prodigal Son, Black Knights, Flacco 07, Brooklyn Zoo, Rob Boo, Lesk One, very special guest coming through at Zen Sushi Wednesday, May 10th. Zen Sushi, 2609 Hyperion Avenue. My man Prodigal Son will be in the house doing his thing. Free until 9:30. Featuring Chi King, Prodigal Son, Black Knights, Rob Boo, Beat Junkies, all that. Alright? More information, you can log on to myspace.com/Sound Scientists. Who we got playing, Breeze?
This is Grupo Folklorico, which is song is called Cuba Linda. And I wanted to, there was a bunch of stuff I wanted to play tonight, but this one I wanted to particularly play because I met Dusk in '99 at Mumia 911, but then we met up like about a year or two later. I was playing this at a party, might have been Soul's birthday party actually, and he came up to me and he was like, "Yo, what the F is that?" And he just had to know it, and had to at least play this in the background, because this reminds me of him. And for those who know Dusk as a funk DJ, a hip hop DJ, he was a salsa fanatic. And he bugged out when he found out I was one also. So I just wanted to play this one in the background. Going out, former man Santana, get on. Truth Seekers. We want
to thank Santana too for allowing us
for being just a human being, man.
Being a human being. We're paying tribute to two DJs, two beautiful people, and Truth Seekers is a lot. It's his family up here. Carlos Nino, Divine Forces Radio, Truth Seekers.
Rest in peace, Michael Moore. Rest in peace, DJ Dusk.
We out.